So many of you might face issues while logging into game accounts, during gameplay voice chat disconnecting, or sometimes the connection suddenly drops. In many cases, this is related to ports and how your router handles incoming connections. Let me explain this in very simple words. Don't worry, it won't take much time. But if you understand this concept once, it can help you a lot in the future. So, first, think of your router as a gatekeeper. Whenever you start a game, your PC sends small pieces of data, called packets, to the game server. When the server sends a response back to you, those packets first arrive at your router. Your router, the gatekeeper, checks those connections and decides which device inside your network should receive them. Most of the time, it works perfectly fine, but sometimes the router can delay, block, or get confused about where that connection should go. Now, let me give you another quick example to make this even clearer. Imagine you have a house. That house is your IP address. It might look something like 192.168.1.1. Inside that house, you have many rooms. In the internet world, those rooms are called ports. So when a connection arrives from the internet, it doesn't just come with the house address, it also includes the room number where the message should go. For example, it might say something like, go to house 192.168.1.1 and deliver this to room 80. Your router, the gatekeeper, scans that request and then sends the message to the correct room, meaning the correct application on your PC. Now, this is where port forwarding comes in. Port forwarding is like placing a guide next to the gatekeeper that already knows where certain visitors should go. So when a connection for a specific port arrives, the router doesn't have to guess anymore. It simply forwards that connection directly to the correct device inside your network. In simple words, port forwarding gives your router clear instructions, which can sometimes make connections more stable and prevent certain connection issues in games or voice chat. Now, in my previous video, I showed you the port forwarding tutorial based on a ZTE router, but this time I'm going to use a TP-Link router because its interface and settings are very similar to most other routers. By doing this, we are basically covering the topic again so you guys can easily understand how it works. And in the future, you will be able to create port forwarding for almost any game without confusion. So this is our router settings page. Basically, if you go into the network settings, you will find an option called NAT forwarding. And inside that, you will see port forwarding. Some routers also give you a search option for settings. So if that option is available, you can simply search port forwarding and it will take you directly to it. All right, now let's move to the port forwarding configuration. The first thing you will see here is service name. Some routers may use slightly different names like gaming service or simply service, so don't get confused here. You can type any name you want because this name is just for identification. Next, you will need the device address, which is basically your computer's IP address. You can easily find this by opening Command Prompt, typing ipconfig, and then pressing enter. Now look for IPv4 address and note it down. That is your device IP. Next, you will see external ports, or sometimes routers show it as port or port range. An individual port means a single specific port number, while a port range means all ports between two numbers are used. For example, from port 7000 to 7500 means all ports in that range are allowed. Then there is the protocol option. I won't go deep into protocols here, but in short, there are two types mostly used by gaming servers, TCP and UDP. Usually UDP is used for the actual game traffic, while TCP is often used for things like login, services, or voice connections. Finally, make sure the enable option is checked. Once you save the entry, the port forwarding rule will become active. That's it for the basic setup. Now for Valorant, take a look at this table on the screen and take a screenshot if you want. These are the ports used by the Valorant servers. We will fill these one by one so you can easily follow along. And if you have any questions, you can always ask in the comment section. First, we will type the name Valorant game. Next is the port range. Valorant uses 7000 to 7500 for gameplay, both internal and external, so we will enter the same values here. After that, select the UDP protocol, since most gameplay connections use UDP, and then click Save. Now the next one is Riot Client. Enter its port numbers, select the TCP protocol, and save it. Now, if you look at the bottom ports, you will notice something slightly different. Some of them use only one port instead of a range. For example, PvPnet uses only port 2099. In this case, we will use an individual port, not a port range. So type the name PvPnet, enter the port 2099, select TCP, and save it. The last one is Riot Service. It uses two ports, 80 and 443. Some routers allow you to enter the second port in an optional field, so you can add 443 there. But if your router doesn't have that option, you can simply create two separate entries, one for port 80 and another one for port 443. Some routers may not allow the same service name twice, but as I mentioned earlier, the name does not really matter. You can simply change the name and save both entries. And that's it. It may look a little technical at first, but once you understand it, port forwarding is actually very simple. If you still have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section. As always, we read your comments and sometimes take the best questions for our next tutorial videos. This is Windows Fixer. Allah Hafiz.